Yo, what's up everybody? It's Dingbat again here for episode 3 of Be a GM series. Episode 4. Last time we had Tuca time. Tuca got some starts. We got to 62 games in the season. I believe, 67 games. We got 15 games left. We're going to try to finish out strong, make that playoff push. Hopefully we don't get bit in the butt by some injuries, and let's get rocking and rolling. Team was on a losing streak as we finished out the end of the last episode. We lost 3 in a row there, hoping to turn it around quite a bit. Tuca is back in net, and we need to have a strong turnaround here. Win versus Pittsburgh, back-to-back. No, we can't finish the back-to-back against Crosby and then Ovechkin. Get the win and loss, split the series, go to Buffalo. They're doing terrible this year. Get the 2-1 win. So we're on a good 2-1 in this simulation round. 3-1. There we go. Ottawa Senators beat them. Good win right there. We need those 2 points against a division opponent, and another win right there versus Florida. So 4-1 already, 5-1. Team is red hot. I was about to pause it and take Tuca out, but they have that nice 3-day rest there, 23rd, 24th, 25th, all off. Let them play versus Anaheim. All right. Boston player Milan Lucic is available to play. So we have gotten Milan Lucic back. He was on injuries. I will show you quickly the lines after I edit them. Alright everybody, so we have received Milan Lucic back into the lineup. That is a huge asset going down the stretch. We need to stay healthy here. If you have noticed, I have changed the lines around a little bit once more, trying to shake things up. I put Bergeron back with Marchand, get that combo going again. And I gave them Marin Gaborik, who's been having a phenomenal season. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it or not, but Gaborik and Eriksson have been playing lights out this season. They've been like off the charts good together. But I'm going to split them up. Hopefully we can get 2 lines going, and the Bergeron, Marchand, and Lucic, that trio right there, they can start getting closer to even or maybe positive plus minus. I'll check the stats after. Maybe they have turned it around the last few games since we have been winning. So I put this one-eye Swede back with the other Swede, Eriksson, on the second line. Gave him some big body power forward to Milan Lucic. I also did move up Spooner and Pasternak. I just want to give this a try going down the stretch for a couple games. If they seem to be losing, I'm going to switch it right back, because this line hasn't been that good, but I really want these guys to develop, Spooner and Pasternak, so I hopefully will give them some more minutes. Kelly, he is on just about all the penalty kills, first penalty kills for everything, so he is still getting a little bit more minutes probably than Spooner, even though he is on the 4th line. Conley, however, he's not going to be stealing much ice, neither is Gregory Campbell. That was the main reason for changing that. I could ultimately change these bottom 2 tier lines around, but I'm going to stick with it for now. Just to show you the special teams, it looks kind of as you would expect it. Not much has changed, and 4-on-4 we do have pretty similar to what we've been doing, and we are riding Tuukka Rask right now. So right now we're looking good. No need to show you any more of that. I will stop the simulation, and I'm going to go show you the stats, show you how the team has been performing. And they did just win versus Anaheim as well. Absolutely on fire right now. This is going to be huge for getting us in the playoffs, and I think I just saw that we are in first place in the division. We are 94 points. That's pretty much a lock. That's a lock for the playoffs right there. 94 hardly ever misses it. Don't want to jinx it, but we have 7 points in hand on Tampa. They're at 87. 87's in right now. 85 is in. No, 185 is in, 185 is out, so 85 is the bubble win. 9 points up on the bubble right now. A point up on Detroit and 3 on Montreal. That would be awesome to not see Montreal make the playoffs. I think they probably will, though. They've been having a strong year. Going over to the player stats, as you can see, Marian Gaborik still leading the way for this team with on our points. 74 games played, 68 points. Him and Eriksson, as I had mentioned, both 20-goal scorers. They've been playing awesome. And to show you that plus minus, there's Marchand, Spooner. Marchand, we put him back on the first line. We'll see how it goes. We can switch it around. The Spooner, Campbell, and Bertuzzi line, they're all negative. Usually you don't want to switch a line, move the guys up, but I do want to give them some more playing time. They did just win the last game. I really want to see Spooner and Pasternak start scoring a little bit. Pasternak does have 9 goals on the year, almost 20 points. Not bad for a rookie. I would have liked to see him get maybe 30, but you know, we still got some room for development. He's already 81 overall. And what was his potential? Low potential for a top 6 forward. I would have liked to see it higher. I think in real life that should have been, that would be a little bit higher. I think he has definite potential and medium potential for top 9 forward. So maybe they won't pan out as well in this particular Be a GM series, but we're gonna roll with it for now. We'll close in on the end of the season, so we'll go back to simulating. And so Tuukka's been playing a lot, so I'm going to give him one of these games off. I'm gonna let him sit out the Carolina game. We need him against New York. Carolina, not so much. So same game. New York's been playing very well this year. They're actually in first place, I believe. They're ahead of us in points. And we get the win. Nice. Tuukka coming up huge. So I'm going to go swap him out for Svedberg and play the Carolina game with Nicholas Svedberg. Alright, we are back. I have put Nicholas Svedberg in. We'll continue our simulating. We'll simulate this Carolina game. This will probably be his last game of the season. See if he can end it on a good note. We are at Carolina. We do get the loss, unfortunately. So I don't think we'll be seeing Svedberg at all for the rest of the year. Alright, so Scout wants us to do some more scouting. You know what? We'll go to the Liga. Actually, you know what? They don't have enough players. It almost doesn't make sense to scout anywhere else other than the Canadian leagues, to be honest. So we'll go over to the WHL for some defensemen for 3 weeks. Alright, so I'm going to go put Tuukka Rask back into the lineup and finish out the regular season with him most likely. And we'll continue when I get back. Alright, so we're back at the calendar. We're ready to finish off the rest of the regular season. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left on the calendar. Let's see how we can do. Want to get that President's Cup. We have a shot. I'm going to actually stop it after the Toronto game if I can. See how close we are. I don't want to jinx it though. Hopefully we don't go on a skid here. We do beat Florida. That is a weaker opponent. We did need to win that game. Detroit, they are fighting for the first overall seed. Looks like we still have a couple games on them. And now we have another. That pretty much assures us we're going to be ahead of Detroit. 6-1 win. Huge win against the top team of the division. This Bruins team is definitely ready for a deep playoff run. Another win against Toronto, 3-0. Rask is playing awesome. Only 3 goals allowed in the last 3 games, as you can see there. I don't want to jinx it, so okay. So we're gonna stop it here. I'm gonna put Danny Pye back in the lineup. I'm gonna take Gregory Campbell out, and I'll get right back to that Washington series. So it quickly went back. I didn't have time to stop it. It looks like we did lose to Washington. I believe we lost to them last month in that back-to-back too. So I'm hoping we don't face them in playoffs. I'll quickly go to the standings, show you where we are. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, we clinched playoff spots. We got 5 in the Atlantic and only 2 here. So Washington is fighting for that last playoff spot. So where they, I'm not sure. I think, yeah, it's the 2 and 3 seed that automatically make it. So it looks like actually, yeah, the 2 wild cards are going to be out of the Atlantic Division. So we will be playing either Tampa or Toronto. We cannot play Washington the first round, which is very good for us. 102 points on the year, I believe. All right, so we are first in the Atlantic. 103 for the Rangers. 109 for Minnesota. Wow, what a year. I wonder if Devin Dubnyk's playing lights out like he was in the second half of this regular season. Anaheim with only 1 game left, 102 points as well. So it looks like we'll have a couple teams break the 102 marker. Definitely looks like Minnesota has the President's Trophy locked up. I'm going to go put Danny Pye back in the lineup because I didn't have a chance to do that last time, and then we'll continue and finish off the last few games. Alright, so I have swapped Danny Pye back into the lineup, put him in that left wing, 4th line slot. Team's playing very good right now. Didn't want to make too many changes with the lines. Want to go in strong to the playoffs. Let me check on the stats of that Spooner-Pasternak line, because we did talk about how the 3rd and 4th line, currently the 3rd line, the Spooner-Pasternak-Bertuzzi line, they were not performing very well. They were minus players throughout the whole season. So let's see if maybe they have turned around a little bit and got close to even, since we have played the last few games. Them seem to have been winning. Gavrek is just still killing it now at 30 goals on the year. Bergeron, he is now a plus player, so that's good. Looks like Marchand's still a negative, but Spooner is -9, so I think that's right about where we last saw him. Pasternak's at even now, so that's not too bad. We'll leave those lines alone because, well, actually, Chris Kelly has one of the better plus-minuses on the team, so maybe we will switch that around. Maybe we'll just take away that chemistry, since, like I said earlier in one of the early episodes, the Marchand and Bergeron chemistry, yeah, it's there and it exists in real life, and maybe it will next year in the next GM series, but the Spooner-Pasternak chemistry maybe isn't there in this game, so maybe we'll give Pasternak Kelly to play with on that 3rd line if Spooner isn't living up to that potential. So I think that's probably what I'll do once we get to the playoffs. With that being said, I'm just going to finish off the regular season. We only have a few games left. Yep, these last 2 games versus Florida and Tampa Bay, and hopefully we can clinch the first place in the Atlantic. We do win 6-1. Oh, okay, Lucic out till the 15th, so that's not too bad. He might not miss a playoff game, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Unfortunately, we do have to move up some of these guys temporarily, so I'm just going to put Campbell back in the lineup for this last game. Hopefully we can sneak out the win. I know the lines are all screwed around a little bit. I'm going to fix all these lines, and then we can simulate that last game. Alright, so the lines are all set. We are ready to simulate the last game. Oh, accidentally clicked play game, so we're going to back out here. We're going to simulate this last game of the season versus Tampa Bay and Steven Stamkos, the current Eastern Conference champions. They did just lose last night to the Chicago Blackhawks in the Stanley Cup. What a great series. Low scoring, but I think the 2 best teams in the NHL this year by far. 2-0 win, finish off the season. We finished off strong. Awesome. So that makes us 49, 25, and 8. So I believe that's 106 points if my math is correct. And we did finish off in ahead of Montreal. That is an awesome feeling. So Montreal has 98. They'll be playing Detroit first round. It looks like, I would assume we played Tampa Bay because it lists them as 5th, but you never know. We did just finish a 2-1 victory against them last game of the season, so that has to be some good karma going into the playoffs. Let's simulate a few days. Regular season has ended. Yes, we know. Okay. Achievement unlocked. All right. So we did have a great season. We're unlocking achievements. I'm gonna go edit those lines, and I'll show you my final lines before we do start the playoffs. And it looks like we will be playing Toronto, actually. So let me go edit those lines, and then we can end the episode here and give you a little preview of what we're going to be going up against for Toronto. Alright, so here we go. Here's the final lines I'm going to ride into the playoffs with, and hopefully they can take us far. We have Bergeron with Marchand and Marian Gaborik. Gaborik is leading our way in team points. Bergeron has started to turn it on of late, so maybe that combo is starting to work out. I'm hoping Marchand can pick it up. That left wing spot's been a little bit weak this year. We do have the power forward Milan Lucic on the next line with the Swedish duo of Soderberg and Eriksson. So we'll hope that Swedish combo works well with Milan Lucic. They have been doing pretty well down the stretch there. We'll be able to tell more in detail as we get a closer look at the simulation. Conley, Kelly, and Pastrnak I now have as the third line. David Pastrnak has been playing a little bit better than Ryan Spooner, so I have taken Spooner out for the playoffs. He was quite a bit of a minus player, so I did just put Pastrnak with Kelly and Conley, so I figured the playmaker Pastrnak with Conley might be a better combo in this particular game. And Kelly's been a great plus-minus guy for us, so we left him there in the third line. Campbell hasn't been playing very well this season, so we could swap him out for Spooner if we needed to. And then I brought Bertuzzi back down to the fourth line, and Paille is still in his normal spot. Just a quick look over our defense once more. Hamilton with Yossi, Chara and Seidenberg, Krug and McQuaid. Not much has changed there. So with all that being said, well, let's take one final look at the stats. I'll show you how we finished up. Oh, my bad. Stats Central. Gaborik led the way with 76 points. So he did have a great year, 30 goals. Eriksson with 24 goals, 67 points. So very happy with both of them. Bergeron, I was hoping for a little bit more. He did have 40 assists, so he did kind of turn on towards the end of the year, so can't be too mad about that. Dougie Hamilton, great year, 59 points in 81 games. I am very pleased with that, plus 12. He is our young defenseman. We're going to have to sign him to a long-term deal. Hopefully we can afford it. With freeing up some cap space, because we probably won't be signing Gaborik again. We don't know. We'll see what he's asking for. Marchand, a little bit of a disappointing season, seeing that -7. He does have 55 points and 17 goals, so maybe he is just more of a liability on the defensive end. That's all right, though. Lucic, 19 goals, almost hitting that 20-goal plateau. Hopefully he'll turn it on towards the playoffs. 51 points, 80 games. I'll take it. Soderberg with 44. Yossi, great compliment to Dougie Hamilton. 71 games. He was injured a little bit, but plus 10. That's pretty solid year, and only 18 penalty minutes. Actually, Hamilton only 10 as well, so that's kind of low for, I would think, for a defenseman. Torrey Krug. Now we're going down the depth chart quite a bit. 14 goals. That's pretty good for a defenseman. I'll take that. Chara, solid year. Pastrnak, I was hoping for a little bit more. He was even when I last checked, so he's now plus 3, so that's a good sign. He's trending upwards. I did put him with the new line with Kelly. He's a plus 13, so great two-way player. Grinder is what they list him at here. Does probably get overpaid a little bit, but I'm willing to sacrifice that for the chemistry he brings to the team. I know a lot of people don't quite care for him in Boston, and I'm definitely one of the biggest offenders for the past few years. I wanted him gone, but you know what? His chemistry that he brings to the table, for whatever his contract is, $3 million a year. I'll take that one player on our third line that we pay a little bit extra. But we do want to see more scoring, like guys like Pasnik, Paille, plus 11. So we're looking pretty good up and down the roster. Gregory Campbell, minus 12, very disappointing. I think his better days are behind him, to say the least. And as we keep going down, that's about it. Spooner did finish a minus 6, so maybe he is a better choice than Campbell. I feel like Campbell's a safer play. His veteran presence and his defense are a little bit better, as well as his physical rating. As you can see, he's 4.5 stars as opposed to Spooner's 2.5. So that might be a better asset towards for the playoff run. And actually, just going back real quick, I'm going to show you our goalie stats, what they finished up with. If you've been following along, we did overplay Svedberg at the beginning of the year. We played him more than we wanted. That's a little bit more than we wanted. Maybe we wanted around 20 starts, maybe 18 total in the season. We did ride Rask for the last few months, so we've been working him pretty hard. But 38, 14, and 6, awesome year. 2.1 goals against with a .928 save percentage. Let me quickly go to the whole NHL. I want to see where that ranks, because he might be up for Vezina with those type of numbers. So goals against average, he's second only to Martin Jones. Oh, Martin Jones didn't even play the whole year, so he's pretty much first in the league. A little bit low on the wins because he didn't play as much, unfortunately. So maybe that'll hold him back, but .928 save percentage, he's basically, if you don't count Martin Jones, who only played 14 games, he's first in both goals against and save percentage. So he is going to be the person we have to ride for that Stanley Cup run. With that being said, let's take a look. I'm sorry to keep jumping back. We'll go to the Toronto Maple Leafs, see how they have been playing. Take a look at their team. Who's hot this year? I bet the good old Phil Kessel will come back to haunt us in the playoffs. See how he's doing. Yeah, 38 goals. How you doing? 84 points on the year. He's having a phenomenal year. JVR with 40 goals. Holy shit, that first line. 38, 40, and 33. Or maybe Loophole's not on the first line. I don't know what their lines are looking like. But damn, two guys with almost 80 points. What a great year for Phil Kessel. So it looks like they are stacked up front, and their depth is pretty weak. So I think we should be able to take them. It definitely looks like an inferior opponent. Maybe they have a better skill guy in Phil Kessel than we do in Gabrick. But Jonathan Bernier, let's see, 2.6 with a .915 save percentage. Nothing great. Reimer, right around the same numbers. So a little bit higher goals against a 2.86. So I don't really fear them too much. I don't know about you guys. You can let me know what you think. I'll start up the next video with this series and see how it goes. But I think we should have an easy walk to the second round. Nothing in reality is easy in the NHL playoffs, but we'll see how it goes. Very pleased to finish off first place with just a couple small moves at the beginning of the year, getting Roman Josi and Marian Gaborik. With all that being said, though, that will conclude this episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you have watched till now, feel free to give me a subscription if you're enjoying these videos. I'm going to try to keep producing them, and be sure to give it a like if you did like it. Until next time, thank you very much, and we will be playing Toronto.